Beautiful. All right, bring us in.
Welcome to Hassholes with Opinions. I'm one of your hosts, Marcus Merker. Dylan Weber.
Big Dubbz at Big Dubbz, YouTube or Twitter, all that fun stuff. / Big Dubbz, YouTube at Big Dubbz 905 on Instagram. Look us up, Green Tree Records on Facebook. You know.
And Sab Powers.
Yeah.
That's Sab Powers on Twitter, at Sab Powers on Twitter. /
All I care about is YouTube. Just go to my YouTube and watch my podcast.
Don't even
watch it. Let it play in the background.
Beautiful.
And do the same for this one as well. If you don't want to watch this one, just play that shit in the background.
Yeah, I just play, like, when I listen to podcasts, I just put it on when I'm driving around in the car. I don't even watch them. Same goes with the Joe Rogan podcast and the Sam Tripoli one.
Yeah, but you're listening. That still counts.
I always
listen to
always listen to it.
Yeah.
I always listen. Gotta take in information.
Yeah, it's cool, man, because you always got something to say about the random people I'm talking to.
Always.
It's very strange.
Always. The feedback is always good. Feedback is always good. You know what I mean?
What's the subject today, boys? Let's get into it.
Subject today is the riots and protests in America and also Toronto. There was some here in Toronto, in Canada. Canada. Yep. There was there's all over the world. A lot of people are fighting back. A lot of people are sick and tired. And it's funny because we also covered this in our first podcast a little bit with the cops having too much power and the undercovers and the switching of the cars and the police state. We were going to get into the rise of the police state. That was one of the topics we were going to discuss. That was on the panel for the first episode, which is funny because if we would have discussed that, we would have watched how it actually escalated into what it is today. But what better time to tackle it than right now then, right? Exactly. So Sab knows nothing. Sab lives in a little bubble.
I should be watching that. Like, fuck, man. I should be keeping up to date because then it would be a good topic to talk to people that I have on my podcast about. I think it's a great I've had people on today even.
Sab, that's how you just learn your information, right? You don't know anything, so you just get on a podcast and you're like, so what do you think about the riots in the States? And then people tell you, you're like, all right, next person. What do you?
That's how I get all my information about ghosts.
Yeah. So I'm starting to sway my way on believing in ghosts. A lot of people are starting to convince me. There's been a lot of on-hand encounters, you know.
Bro, I should have put Epstein in the title, and because especially now, like I was doing Epstein shit, and then bam, the Epstein fucking shit drops on fucking Netflix, and I could have been having Epstein my title. People could have been searching that shit, but I'm so fucking dumb, and now I feel like it's too late.
Should have been riding that shit, boy. Ride that wave. We should do an Epstein one. We should watch that documentary and then do the Epstein one. Yo, don't forget.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
At some point, we have to do an IQ test.
In this podcast, or at some point in a podcast?
No, this one. That's what it was said. At least because we don't have a guest right now, so we can do it together, and then we don't have to put the guest on the spot.
Can we do it? Well, you guys are together, so how are you guys gonna do it separately?
What do you mean you have to do it separately?
I'd assume.
Well, don't you guys each want to know your separate IQ?
Yeah, I guess, because he would have to watch me do mine, unless he does it on his phone, and I'll do mine on my phone.
That's possible. But let's see. Have we looked up?
And we all talk while we do the IQ test together.
The other two people will talk. Well, no, I don't know. Figure it out. But anyways, the riots in America. That's what we came here to talk about today. We were gonna do the birth of streaming, but we're saving that for another podcast. So Sab, you know nothing about it, how it started, what was the causation of it?
Well, I know that guy got killed, right?
George Floyd. Yeah. George Floyd was murdered
by three. They say the one dude, cops. Right? Yeah, the cops. They say the one cop who kneeled on his neck. But if you get the behind picture, there's also two other cops that are holding him down with one standing there. So I don't know why all the focus is actually just on one cop.
It's so fucked up that shit's still going on, because I remember seeing like similar shit like this happening years ago, and it's like shit, like people got upset, and I thought like shit would change, and it's like cops are still doing shit like this. It's like, what the fuck, man?
It was 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, sorry, and it was Eric Gardner from New York City, or he was from New York, and he was choked out by police, and all he was doing was selling illegal cigarettes. Fair enough. But I was actually thinking about something today. I was talking to my friends about what's going on, and I started thinking about, like, you know, like, at what point are police showing up to these scenes and immediately judging? Like, what I mean is judging is not just, like, the profiling or any of that stuff. Like, let's take that away. At what point did police get the okay to show up and immediately become the judge? I thought you were innocent until proven guilty last time I checked in the United States of America, including Canada. So, like, at what point are police showing up? And if somebody calls you in and says, that person's got a huge gun in his pants and blah, 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 and the police are showing up, guns drawn, hands up, like, at what fucking point do they become the judge and decide that that person needs to get shot, or they need to treat that person with disrespect? Like, at what point is that, like, are we not okay with the police? Like, as a black man myself, looking at the riots, yeah, it's sad. Like, I think there is a race issue, absolutely, but there's a bigger police issue, and it's the sheer fact that these police are, and I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them are very untrained and are clearly half-ass their job. We've seen multiple videos on the internet of police literally not knowing their own laws when people are telling them, hey, no, like, Section 180 this, blah, 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 and the cop's like, I don't care what the rules are. And then, you know what I mean? It's like, at what fucking point? Like, you're there to serve and protect. Serve and protect. Now, a man was killed. Black or white, Hispanic, yellow, green, whatever the fuck color he is. Excuse my language. A man was killed. And due to a negligence of an officer holding his knee on the back of somebody's neck. Now, like, if it was the other way around, regardless, now imagine that large-ass black man had his knee on the back of that cop's neck. We'd be talking about a whole different fucking story about this, instead of it being about, you know what I'm saying? And then now they're pushing the narrative like, a man was killed. That's it. Done. And an officer should be charged with first-degree murder and go to jail for 2 life sentences because he took that father away from his kid and a husband away from his wife. And he got charged with third-degree murder, which, if you know what third-degree murder means, it means he did it unintentionally. So they're saying that he did it unintentionally. You had your knee on the back of someone's neck for 9 minutes, and you did something unintentionally, and then people wonder why they're burning down buildings and taking these measures. Come on, like, it's so far past this level of, like, well, yeah, we're just waiting for change. They asked us to protest peacefully. We did that. Colin Kaepernick knelt during the anthem in the NFL. Nope, that wasn't good enough. LeBron James has spoken up. No, shut up and dribble. A Fox News reporter told LeBron James, shut up and dribble, when an athlete, also a member of society, by the way, that member of society pays more in tax than that Fox reporter. And then she says, shut up and dribble. That's what you should do when he's you know what I mean? These are the issues that we're dealing with in America. It's just like, and obviously we're in Canada, so I grew up half my life in the United States. I dealt with racism myself. I grew up in Tennessee. My mom dealt with it. My mom moved to Canada because of that. She didn't want me to grow up in that. Do you know what I'm saying? My mom messaged me the other day after this man was killed and said, I'm so happy I moved you away from there. Like, you know how heart-wrenching to get a message like that from your mother is? I have family in the States still who have to walk around and be scared to be a darker skin color or whatever the case may be, even if it's a police issue or not a race issue. The fact that people are walking around scared that they might be killed by a police officer that is poorly trained, and that's not every police officer, but the ones that are, this is unacceptable. That cop was on the force for 20 years and had 17 complaints against him, and he was still a police officer, and then now he killed another guy. He shot and killed a 21-year-old unarmed black man. Was fine, was suspended with pay, gets back on the force, and now he kills another man, and he gets third-degree murder. Like, at what point are these people actually held for real accountability? Real accountability.
Wait, so he actually killed somebody else
That's
before
not
this?
the first person he killed. No. It's
Holy
not.
shit, that's crazy.
Actually, he's actually killed 4 total people. Yeah.
Damn, that's the
He-
first time I'm hearing of any
He
of
killed
this.
a 21-year-old unarmed black kid. That was a couple years back. And then him and another officer were involved in a car chase that killed 3 people. Yeah. He's had 17 police brutality what are they called? Complaints against him to the police department. If you look at all of them, they looked back and opened his case. They've all gone no discipline. No discipline. And I have other friends who think, oh, well, not all police are bad. Man, listen, if out of 100% of police killings on whatever human, and 2% of those are racial in any aspect, it's already too much. Do you know what I'm saying? That's already too much.
Yeah, the problem is the cops can get away with whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. We need someone to like police the police.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're actually
exactly.
just they're putting a law in place today. They're in Congress currently. I don't know about currently, but they're discussing there was a law that was passed in 1990, okay? And basically the law gave police the ability to come up to you and be like, we would like to ask for your ID. I want to search your bag without probable cause, just in case that you might have a gun. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's taking away an amendment. That's taking away some of your rights right there as a human being. So that was passed in 1990 in the early 90s. That law was passed. I think it was 92, where it was a law that basically said that police could search your shit because they were police and they were there for the better of the community. So they allowed it. So for the last 20 years plus, we've been dealing with the ramifications of shitty laws and horrible police. Now, that's not all police. It's not all police. But it's like, man, like, okay, somebody said today, Chris Rock has a quote, and he says, if American Airlines or ACC told you that one of their pilots was a little shitty, would you get on that flight? No, because some professions demand a level of excellence that you don't go below. At what point did police become a job where you can just jump in and just fuck people up and not get in trouble for it? And then if you're a bad cop, you get called a bad apple, you get suspended 2 weeks without pay, and you get back on the force. I don't want to go to a hospital and then a nurse be like, hey, you know what? You have a really bad heart condition, but our best heart doctor, he's the worst in the entire country. But not just worst, I mean, he's bad at his job. So, you know, you should still get the surgery, but he's horrible at his job. Like, no, doctors can't be bad at their jobs. Pilots can't be bad at their jobs. EMTs can't be bad at their jobs. Because imagine you have a heart attack right now, and you call an EMT, and they show up, and they're like, oh, fuck.
Is he having a stroke, or
I forgot the symptoms
is this
that
a
he's going
seizure?
through. That's fucking unacceptable. That person would be like, you know what I'm saying? Unacceptable. And at what point did we lower the bar for police enough that they can hold their knee on the back of somebody's neck for 9 fucking minutes, and we just go, well, they're not all bad apples. No,
And
you
it's
can't
funny
have
because,
any
like,
bad apples.
the people yelling while it's going on, it's like, he's not doing anything. Like, there's 3 of you. Like, just let him go. He's just like, I can't breathe.
You can't have
like, and they're
any
just
bad
sitting
cops.
there, just like, oh, we're getting him in the car, and he's like, it's been like 5 minutes. Why haven't you done anything? You're just still laying there with your fucking knee on his neck. He's like, oh, well, no, we're just trying to get him in the car. Like, no, clearly not.
This is the worst part, okay? He was handcuffed, first of all, which means you had him restrained. How much can one person do when their hands are cuffed behind their fucking back? And then you have the nerve to say, well, we got to make sure that, what are you doing? Are you rummaging through his pockets? Are you stashing something? Oh, you thought you had enough time, and then enough people showed up that it became a weird situation. So you got stuck in this God complex, and then you got stuck there. Now you got to be tough, big fucking guy, and you got to sit there with your fucking knee on his neck, and that human died under your fucking knee. Like, Now listen, I'm not calling that cop racist. I said human. I made it clear. It's about human. It's about police issue. The race issue there is an issue there because, like I said, if 2% of police killings, police beatings, or police arrests are stemmed from racial feelings towards people, that's already too much. That's already way too much. We got to be it's 2020. Us as humans, we've got to be way past this. I've talked about this. We talked about this in the first podcast. I want a world where we all the doctors, all of this. Like, I'm not saying race should be zero. You shouldn't be looking at color. It shouldn't be like this. And if any of those killings or anything are stemmed through race, that's too much. Even if one a year, one every 3 years, that's too much. That's just too much. It should be zero. And like I said, you don't have bad pilots. I'm not getting on a plane when they say, sorry, he's crashed 3 planes in the last month, but don't worry, we trust him on this flight halfway across the world. Do you trust him? No, the fuck I don't. I'm not getting in that plane. You can't have bad pilots. You can't have bad doctors. So why the fuck is it okay to have bad police officers? It's not.
It's not.
Fucking not.
100%. 100%.
Bad cooks.
That's why we said. That's why I agree they're not an essential service, because if they actually. So my question is, when did they go from public servants to law enforcement? When did that make the jump that was their job from being public servants
It's true.
in the community that were supposed to be there to help us to being law enforcement there for basically tax revenue? Like, it's a different game. They're not there for the same thing. They're not there for the people. And it's weird because there's people who go through this to be good cops. There are good cops.
A lot of them.
There's a lot of good cops, but it sucks because the highlighted is the bad. Because who's going to highlight a good cop doing like great stuff? You know what I mean? A few people do, but that's about it. Other than that, your watch is going off. Yeah,
I don't think these bad cops deserve to be highlighted.
No, they do. That's
punished.
what I'm saying. But the good cops don't get highlighted, so it looks really.
The problem
really bad.
is that the bad ones, that they have so much power and they can get away with it, right?
100%.
It's like,
the fact that they can get a paid
why is
vacation
it
or like paid
they
off.
kill people, sometimes do really fucked up shit, and at the very least, I mean, like at the very worst, they like lose their job or something. Like, there's so many fucked up videos out there where it's like, these people, I think that maybe we should have less cops, pay them a little more, have it way harder to be a cop, like make it like some sort of like Navy SEAL type of shit. And if they do something fucked up, the punishment should be just as bad as a civilian, if not maybe worse, because they should be held at a higher standard, and they should be policed, and they should have another section of people that have no power over civilians, so they're not cops, but they have power over cops, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So that they can arrest cops. So if they are walking down the street and they see a cop doing something fucked up, they're like, hey, I'm this new thing, we'll call it whatever, maybe like a POC, it's the opposite of a cop, and then the POCs can take down the cops, you know, if necessary. Or if you see a cop doing a fucked up thing, you can call the cops, you know what I mean? You understand?
That's what's becoming.
Wouldn't that be good?
Absolutely,
that would be 100%.
Absolutely, man.
And it sucks because there are internal investigation units, but they're all pretty much either tampered or they go in
and you can't like call them. Like, what do you do if you see, like, what if like the whole police force is corrupt and you see like 20 cops and they're all just doing fucked up shit? They're having a crazy party. They're like robbing people. They're just doing whatever the fuck they want. Like, who do you call? You can't call the cops. You need like somebody else that's like not associated with them at all. It's like, if that situation happens, you just have to call your friends and be like, okay, everybody grab your slingshots, like, we're fucked, you know?
Dude, that's what the problem. And then like, there's a lot of arguments right now on the internet because half the people are saying, well, looting and rioting and stealing is not getting your point across. Well, like, man, Martin Luther King has said, and this is, I quote, like, he quotes, that, like, riots are the language of the unheard, okay? And like you said, Sab, at the beginning of this, like we talked about this, you don't know that much about what's going on, and that's fair. But one thing you do know is you're like, something like this happened a couple of years ago. Why haven't anything changed? You're absolutely right.
Shit like this happens all the time, not just like once a couple of years ago. It's like,
but that's the point, right?
Yeah.
It's your understanding that it's like, oh, if it's happening, why can't we make change? And then they tell us that there's change, and then it happens again, and then that cop basically is like, hear me out, Sab. If I came over to your house right now, if I have him right here, and I put my knee in the back of his neck for 9 minutes, and I kill him here, recording, and then you send that to the police station. The police station's going to do what, Sab? They're going to show up on my doorstep. They're going to put me in handcuffs, and I'm going to be put in jail until I get either proved innocent or I'm guilty. But I'm going to be in jail because I murdered someone. That man went home to fuck his wife. That's unacceptable. You murdered a fucking guy where that guy can't go home to his wife.
Grubhub while there was protesters outside of his house.
That's so fucked up, yeah.
He was buying milk and food for his child. And they said that he had a fake $20 bill. And 4 cops showed up. 4 cops showed up for a suspected forgery. Forgery is what 4 cops showed up. And that was the result.
He obviously didn't make that fake 20. It just came into his hands from whatever. But like, change or whatever. So even
he gets
I've gotten fake fucking money all the time just from like, you buy something with a 50 and you can get like 2 20s or whatever and like a toonie or something, and then like one of those 20s could be fake, especially in the States. Like our money now, it's like a little harder to fake, but really hard, they still got that paper shit.
Yeah. But it's my point. It's like, it's unacceptable. Like, you can't have any bad police. You can't. You just can't. And I understand, like, not all police are bad. And I want to say that 98% of police are very good people, very good human beings. They do their jobs with dignity.
Okay, can I interrupt you? Like, you said you can't have any bad police. That's going to happen. You're going to have bad any job. The problem is that it's like, it shouldn't be okay to be a bad police. That's like, it's pretty much like,
because if you are bad, if you are bad,
they go unpunished. They go, it's like getting fired. Like they can still just get another job, and it's like you literally like put your knee on the back of someone's neck or whatever for no reason when you didn't have to do that. That guy didn't have to die. No. You know, like he didn't even have to get like hurt that bad or anything really. None of that had to happen, and it's like this guy didn't have a gun, and there's like 4 of you cops. Like this guy must be the biggest pussy to be like that scared to do that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so fucked up. Like, what was going on in his mind at that moment to make that decision? It's so fucking strange to me. And
I think it's like, you know, when you get embarrassed or like that feeling you get inside that it's hard to like, you know, to act appropriately sometimes. I think that's this case. He had his knee in the back of his neck. He sat there for a couple minutes. Buddy said he couldn't breathe. Buddy, who's videotaping it, the one that went viral, he's like, buddy, you're killing him. Like, what are you doing? So he's looking at the camera, and now it's about what, you know what I mean? Now it's about the camera and not about the man that you're kneeling on. And so now he's got to act tough because he's got to make everyone around him know he's the big bad boss, like I said. And that's the result. A man loses his life, you know? And like, it's just.
If anything, that should have made him like get off. Like, if you see a camera, it's like, oh fuck, I'm on camera, so now I'm gonna kill this guy. Like, to me, that makes even less sense.
Well, it's the embarrassment factor. It's the fact that he's sitting there on camera, and yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, it does make less sense, but at the same time, it's one of those like.
He's just in shock and he froze in the position he was in or something.
And he's probably the supervising officer.
Like you said in the beginning, he went to go do something, and then it became the moment that he envisioned what was going to happen did not happen as soon as a crowd started gathering around him, and then he panicked and was just like, oh fuck, what do we do? We're trying to get him in the car. And he just sat there just holding it down. And then probably the guy screaming, the guy yelling.
What about the other 3 cops? Like, well, why the fuck did they didn't do anything?
They all got fired.
They all got fired, but the other cops aren't being charged yet. 2 cops had their knees.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if we all 3 of us walked into a store right now, we're the
held
only
somebody down and they
and
died.
held somebody down.
No, 4 of us. If us 3 and somebody else walked in, we held somebody down.
Cops have to do shit like that in certain situations.
Yeah,
like I
yes,
get that.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
But this was not that certain situation,
You
and you
understand.
could tell.
Right, but like
you
you
could
don't.
tell from everything.
We get it.
around.
You've already done like compare it to us. We've already made that comparison. We can move on from that.
But I
It's
think,
fucked up. It's a fucked up
I
thing,
think a
and like it shouldn't have happened.
No. I
And
think a solution possibility would have to be like when a cop does do something like that, swift, vicious punishment. Not murder. I'm not saying kill them. I'm not saying that. I'm talking 70 years in jail. In a real prison. Like you're going to jail for a long fucking time. Swift, vicious punishment. Because then what happens is, if the punishment is so extreme,
then it
so
might
extreme,
scare the other ones.
then it scares the bad ones into thinking, if I even get filmed a little bit doing one of my fucked up things, I'm fucked. Like, that's what I mean. It's the actual justice. It's like when you do see a video of 2 cops beating the fuck out of a black kid for no reason, then those 2 cops go to jail. Real jail time. 10, 15 years. If you beat the fuck out of a black kid and he breaks one of his arms, you're going to jail for 15 years.
Definitely
Boom.
aggravated.
Now there's no protection. Oh, I'm a cop and he was running and that's why I didn't turn my camera on fast enough and that's why you didn't see him running first. Like, all of these excuses get abolished. I want to see them get fucked up right away. I'm talking right in jail. Go right there. You're done. That's it. You killed somebody. You knelt on the back of somebody's neck. That's as clear as day. You're going to jail for 55 years. Deal with it. You're a 45-year-old man. You're not going to get out till you're 90. Shitty. Shouldn't have knelt on the back of his fucking neck. Now the next cop that thinks, well, I'd love to kneel on the back of somebody's neck, he's going to think twice because he doesn't want to spend 70 years in prison. It'll just wean down the bad cops. There'll be less of them. There'll still be some, but there'll be less of them. And that's how I feel. Like, actual swift punishments. None of this.
Sometimes you gotta take somebody down like that, though. As a cop,
Absolutely.
It's like you gotta just take, and it's like
No,
that could be
there's video
misinterpreted
I'm not
or
gonna
like.
knock it.
Not
Like, cops get
resisting
put
at
in
all.
stressful situations all the fucking time. You never know when you're pulling somebody over who's in that car. It could be a teenager having a good time. It could be a Mexican cartel dude trying to move some product, and you just caught him on an off day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You don't know who you're walking up to that car and seeing. You know what I mean? And then just to have this guy who you have this altercation with, I'm not giving them any leeway, but like the duress that cops are under all day, just like you said, they have to do certain things in certain positions in
Absolutely.
certain situations. But when it gets to a point where you have a whole crowd of people being like, come on, dude, and you know you're probably in the wrong,
like when the Columbine shooter shot up the school, he shot 34 people, the 2 kids. They got walked out of the school alive in bulletproof vests. 2 white kids walked into a school with guns, shot teachers and other students, and walked out in bulletproof vests so they didn't get shot by one of the parents. Where they were escorted by 12 police officers to the police station, where then they were escorted by helicopter into another safe location away from where they were, so that nothing bad
Columbine,
happened.
they killed themselves.
Well, yeah, sorry. There was another shooting where the
I
kid,
think in Virginia Tech.
whatever it was, they killed 32 people in the Virginia. He walked out in a fucking bulletproof vest, that kid. What about the white kid that raped a girl in the back alley where he was caught by 2 other boys, and the judge lets him off because he had a bright future?
Yep.
Like, these are the issues in America. And then you're a black kid in America, and you can't go to the store and buy Skittles, and then you get shot by a guy that's doing neighborhood watch, and then he gets off because the cops told him it was okay to pull the trigger if he was scared. No. George Zimmerman killed that kid for having a pack of Skittles and a 2-liter of Sprite. He was killed. If you're a black kid walking around, how are you, like, it's scary, man. If you're colored and you get up and you can't even go to the store to buy milk or go to the store to buy food for your kid, and they're going to think that you're stealing, so now it's turned into a near-death situation, that's an issue. That's fucking scary as shit. And then people wonder why these riots and protests happen. They happen because people are fucking tired of it. People are tired of waking up and being scared to go to the store because a police officer might roll past you, pick you up, and never take you home. That shit's bullshit. Now they're burning down buildings. All people are complaining. Well, materials in my building is burnt down. Materials can be replaced. George Floyd lost his life. That means that husband can't be replaced. Neither can that father. That's unacceptable. That's my point. Buildings can be replaced. Lives cannot. And his life can't be replaced and given back to him. And neither of the life of his child or his wife, who have to live their lives now without him. That's unfucking fair. And that cop that murdered that man went home to his wife and was at home for 3 days before they picked him up to arrest him. That's what I'm talking about. When you're a cop, no, it can't happen. Can't happen.
Is he in jail now? Do you guys know?
He is in jail now. He's charged on 3rd-degree murder. Like he's going to prison like next week. Like there's no trial. There's gonna be no. He can appeal it, but he's fucked. He's going to jail. But even 3rd-degree murder.
There's no trial or anything?
Yeah, I got some weird questions about the riot. First, this just dawned on me. Are they rioting in their own neighborhoods?
No, they're skirting into the cities. Like
yeah, so they're going into like places that they don't live and destroying even small mom and pop shops. That's the fucked up part. They're not just hitting Targets and shit. They're hitting everything on the motherfucking strip. So like even like if I owned a small business that I just got.
Well, that's because like you can't control every single person. They're all just going crazy. A lot of these people don't even.
Yeah, that's what I mean though. But like if you were rioting,
mob mentality, right?
So like these guys are going somewhere. They're destroying something. They're just going home to the place that's not rioted. You know, that's kind of like That's kind of like hypocritical.
Absolutely, it is. And
you know what I'm saying?
I don't condone.
Also, what about like this conspiracy that that it was actually undercover agents and cops that incited the riot?
It is. There's a video.
Definitely, like I'm on the side of that. Then there's pallets of bricks dropped off at the corners where the riots were going on for protesters. Like
that seems fucking ridiculous. There's no way. Dude, somebody would have gotten a video of that or something.
There is. That's what I mean. There's photos and videos of all these pallets of bricks being dropped off and shit. Not being dropped off, but like right where the protests were, right before they started, there was just pallets of bricks set up.
And then, what's it called? There's a video.
What? There was construction there.
No.
That's fucking weird, though.
This is in separate areas.
Shit you not. There's a video of a guy who actually is the first person to break windows at a Target.
Bro, he looks like he's all done up. He's got like straight up mask on. You can see like this little fucking like this, you know, those like secret agent wired things that go behind your ear. You can see it in his fucking outfit. You can see like the bulletproof vest outline on his white t-shirt. It's like tight enough. It's so weird. He's got like military force boots on, and he's like the first guy to just start breaking windows in the Target, and then he just dips.
Would you guys riot if there was riots here?
No, I wouldn't.
See, that's the thing. I would go to Toronto and then come back home to Niagara Falls.
Exactly.
You're just fucking with us, so you're just joking?
No,
or what would you actually do?
Stupid. Depends on what we're rioting for. If the police are trying to enforce fucking martial law and trying to, you know, take our rights and put us on a train and send us somewhere where we don't know, yeah, I might fucking riot. But if, like, you know, I'm not going to riot for these reasons.
So you're just going to go outside and you're going to, if the cops are trying to enforce martial law, you're going to, like, go destroy Target and shit? I don't see how, I wouldn't. No, that's what I mean.
I wouldn't riot that way. I would go to the root of the problem.
That's not rioting, though.
I know. I would riot the cop shop. We would start there and then go to town hall. Not fucking, what's burning down a Target going to help me against the police? It made sense when I was watching the riots when they were doing at the precincts, when they were setting fire to the precincts, when that was their problem. That made sense. But going to the Target and looting that shit, that to me is just, I don't get it. I'm not privy to the cause.
It's just mob mentality, and people go crazy, and they're just like.
But if I did drive by Target and it was getting raided, hell yeah, I'm going in and grabbing an Xbox or a fucking TV, dog.
Yeah, see what I mean?
But I'm not gonna continue burning down the city. I'm just gonna rob this thing that's already being robbed. You're not gonna get all of us.
What would be the point, though? It's like I don't even
TV?
like.
What do you mean? Give me a free new TV. I don't want to go spend $1,000 on a 4K.
Yeah,
I'm not getting in trouble for this shit. I'm not getting in trouble for this shit.
All right,
I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna grab a camera, new MacBook Air, You know, some
Let's
shit I've
ask
been wanting
yourself
for the
this
house.
Real question. Real
I'm
question.
not gonna
I'ma-
riot shit.
I'm gonna get
man. I
some
wouldn't
tires,
riot shit.
resell those
Well,
shit,
one
bro.
sec, though. You're not riding.
I'm gonna just get
You're
small
more just
appliances and resell them.
looting.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't loot either. It's like, unless I was like starving and I
Never
needed
let-
food, maybe.
I feel like
But
you're
like, I'm not gonna
inopportunistic, because
fucking
the
go
shit's gonna
steal a
get stolen
TV.
anyways.
That's
Never
ridiculous.
let a good problem
I
go to
already
waste,
have a
Sab.
TV, man.
Then
You can have
steal
two.
something else of valuable that you like. Get a new computer.
It's
With a
not
graphics
worth it,
card.
man. Unless
don't-
shit's like really hit the fan where it's like this shit is like abandoned forever and it's never gonna reopen or anything.
I don't think that
Then
one is.
okay, maybe. But like, man, these like you're fucking somebody over and like
Not target.
somebody
no, I'm
out there worked
specifically-
real hard to
No, I'm
open that
specifically
business,
talking,
slowly work it
I'm
up.
Specifically talking a super chain store. I'm not robbing
Yeah,
mom
so
and
someone
pop
buys
shop.
that chain. They don't have that much money. They just buy. There's like a person that buys. They're like, okay, I want to put a Walmart here. They pay for that
Part of the problem.
Walmart shit, and then they're like, okay, well, and then they give like a percentage back to
Right.
Walmart.
Yep.
So, because
So all
it's
these like
COVID
little
right now, how
problems
much
like
of a tax break
like
do they get
riots and
already?
shit is like that general manager. I don't know
Would
if that's
you-
what they're called,
if-
but it's
if-
like it's their problem, right?
If the Amazon building was being looted, would you go in and steal something from Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, fuck Jeff Bezos.
Exactly. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Let's
don't
go.
even hit me
Let's
with your
go.
moral bullshit
Let's
on
go.
that one. You know damn well if you don't start the riot and that shit's like you're just driving down the street and you're like, oh shit's popping up, and you
Never
look
let
over,
a good problem go to
and
waste,
you look
dog.
over and the front door of the building is basically off, and you see people just flooding out with TVs. You're not just skirting in there quick right to the electronics section.
Nobody's hurting each other. Everybody's like,
No.
shit, bro, you need help carrying that to
Check
your
this
car? Let's rob this motherfucker.
Not a single person has been charged with any thefts yet from there either. So they just like, dude, you could have just walked in there. All the cameras got fucked up. The camera footage is useless.
Bro, it's so funny because like Trump's like these thugs, right? And there's like pictures of like all these white kids. The best one's the white dude in the back. He's
With
got
the
like
Legos?
a box of Legos,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "Fuck this shit." That's what he went in there for. He looted a box of Legos. I love him.
That's
He's my
funny.
fucking spirit
This
animal.
is
Let's
my
go.
question, though. This is my
Yeah, to me, it's not worth it, man. I don't know, like, if
Definitely.
shit is at that point where people are just, like, stealing all that random shit, I would just want to be more focused on, like, staying safe and, like, making sure my family's safe.
With a new 4K TV and PS4, let's go. And maybe you go to the hunting area, you know, grab a crossbow while you're there, or a shotgun if they haven't looted all that
See,
stuff.
that would be smart. Yeah, maybe,
Telling you right
yeah.
now, though, if the COVID numbers don't go up, it's shit was fake as fuck.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? Like that was funny too because it's like there's people wearing masks out in this protest. Like, you pick one lane, bro, and run. Or run. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Go
You
wearing
can't-
all the hats, yeah.
You can't do this.
Even with the
That's
mask,
so
you're supposed to
funny.
social
Silly
distance.
hats club.
Not
you
a
know?
single person out of the 4,000 people that were protesting nobody was social distancing. Not a single human being. So if COVID,
There's
numbers
one
do
guy
not
just,
go
like,
up-
yelling from his balcony, throwing
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm social distancing still!
Just the other protesters on the ground doing more damage than like
Did you hear
helping.
about there was
Yeah.
a store owner defending his store with a machete?
Bro,
and he
there
got
was one where
fucking
like
wrecked
two
by,
guys
like,
like
fucking
pulled up
30
with like
protesters.
fucking AR-15s and they were just chilling out front of their storefront. They're like, try it.
Bro, there was a guy with a bow and arrow. He stepped
Oh,
out
yeah,
of his
that
car
dude.
and he had a bow and he was literally shooting arrows into the crowd.
Yeah, bro, this guy just pulled up with his car in front of the protesters like some fucking last stand shit. Just got out of his car and just started fucking launching shit. Then he got swarmed.
And then
Wait,
another
so he
dude-
was why? Why would he kill protesters? The
Because he was like,
protesters.
fuck these protests.
You're
Because no, they were
fine.
holding up traffic and he was like, I gotta get somewhere.
So he pulled out a bow. I shit you not, bro.
Oh,
Pulled out a bow and just started firing them into the crowd. Then there's another dude
2020, what's up?
in Dallas.
Wait, what the fuck? Then what? Like, why? I'm so, like, baffled. That's so
Because
fucked
it's a
up. Did
protest.
anyone die?
No one died from the dude that. So the worst case that I've heard so far is a dude in Dallas. He was protecting his store with a sword. Okay, and it was fine. Nobody was wrecking his store. They were just running past him, like, and then I guess someone like went and knocked on the windows to see how like thick the windows were, and he was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And they're like, fuck you, bud. And then they started running. And then that's what camera footage. And then he takes the sword and runs across the street chasing the people. Dude.
What? Oh, shit, dog. Okay, so
Weber looking it up right now.
Yeah, so he pulled up and he just starts like fucking. He's like, he doesn't launch any. He's just like, get back. Let me fucking through. And then like as he's looking this way, like 3 people run around from the back and get him. And now there's just like 80 people just like fucking swinging on him, bro.
Look at the machete owner one. That's the one you gotta watch. That was fucking joke.
Oh,
that's fucked up, man.
That was dope.
But the machete
owner, sucks, man. That sucks. This shit's happening. It's sad.
It does.
It makes me sad. You
It's
guys
sad
are all like
because
fucking hype about it.
Well, it's not hype, but they're funny. I think that's like, listen, if you're gonna show up and then pull out a bow and arrow and then like not expect to get fucking jumped by like 30 fucking 40 people, then like that's on you, dog. Like, Sab, hear me out. If there's a protest going on in Niagara Falls for whatever comedian's rights, okay.
Yeah, I don't think this guy was.
I'm like,
this guy wasn't defending his store. He just ran up on these guys. Stay away the other way. Breaking news: man critically injured in Dallas riots. It appears he attempted to defend a shop with a large sword. Looters ran at him, then charged rioters.
Critically injured.
They then beat him with a skateboard and stoned him with a medium-sized rock.
He got knocked out pretty bad. It was kind of vicious. And then he was taken to the hospital, and he's in stable condition. He's fine. You shouldn't have been fucking running after people with a machete. You don't get fucked up by 30 people. It's not that fucking hard to know. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I'm not for the rioting, nor do I advocate it.
Look at them all just stare at him like, you fucking deserve it.
Well, I don't advocate rioting. I don't advocate the violence. I don't like any of it. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good avenue to get our voices heard. However, like I said, how long do we go before that's the only avenue? Like, and I'm not saying white people, but I want to say the white community that's complaining about the riots, the Fox News complaining about the riots and how bad riots are and how they don't work, and yet the Boston Tea Party, which built the United States of America, was a riot in which they dumped tea, literally burning boats and houses down. Whites, Americans against British people, they were dumping their hundreds of thousands of dollars of tea into the ocean.
So like you guys are like with the sword one, right? Is it this guy in the green plaid shirt that like his wrist is all fucked up? He's just like on the ground, blood everywhere.
Yeah. He got folded.
All these people fucking him up.
Yeah.
That's so sad, man.
It's very sad, but also like, listen,
his life is fucked forever, probably.
And you defend it. That's fine.
Bro, a lot of people are fucked.
Why just hurt somebody so badly for no reason like that?
He chased after
like that one guy, like you see at the end, just like football kick his face like that.
Bro, they smashed
for no reason. Rock. They're all doing it. Like, it's just so sad. You can just get like a mob to start beating somebody up, and everybody will join in, and they have no idea what's going on.
No idea. You could be in a mob, walk into Marcus, push him. He like pushes you back, and all of a sudden, whoever's seen Marcus push me back is like, that guy, get him.
Well,
right.
Hear me out. That guy got stomped the fuck out like that because,
like 100%.
He was standing in front of his store with a machete. Fine, people were.
That doesn't mean he deserves to get his ass beat
like
that
two
bad.
2 people hit him. 3 people see those 2 people. Those 3 people run over. Then 3 people each see each of those 3 people. They all run over, and all of a sudden, everybody just doesn't know why they're there, but they know that one guy, he needs to get hit for some reason.
Just that. If you watch the video at the beginning, I don't know if you watched the full video or whatever, but it literally shows him standing out front of his own store. People are leaving him alone, completely alone.
It doesn't show that part. The only part I show, it's like a crowd of people.
I've seen another one.
There's like 40 people, and they're all just like kicking the shit out of him.
They leave him alone, and then he runs across the street and then down the sidewalk. So like there's like his store was at a corner. He ran across the crosswalk, then back down the sidewalk on the other side of the street, running at people with the machete. The moment he got across
Okay, but listen. Even if he was doing that, even that guy doesn't deserve to get beat that bad. You know what I'm saying? You take someone down, and then once they're not a threat anymore, you leave them the fuck alone. Like, you don't beat someone while they're down, man. If someone's on the ground, that's when you stop punching them.
And especially
and to run up and like fucking football kick someone in the face, bro, you could seriously fuck someone up with their fuck for the rest of their life, man. Like, I got punched when I was like 15, and still when I drink cold water, I feel it in my teeth. And that was just one stupid punch. Imagine getting like the fucking shit kicked out of you by fucking a shitload of guys. It'll fucking stay with you for the rest of your life and affect you hardcore. When it's like, man, and it's so like when the guy's not defending himself anymore, he's on the ground, he's done. Like, let him, like, no matter how bad he is, like, even if it's fucking Hitler down there, once he's down on the ground, I stop punching. Once he's like fucking
I'm saying.
Anybody, man.
Again, I don't agree with anybody, the violence, any of that. I don't agree with, but I understand why the rioting's happening. That's where my stand on that is. Like,
yeah,
but that's what I hate about riots. It's like they're imploding on their own people, man. They're just
100%.
hurting other citizens that didn't necessarily deserve that.
100%.
And destroying businesses and stuff that didn't deserve that. You're not hurting Walmart. That's what I'm trying to like tell you is like, when you like loot a Walmart, when you steal from a Walmart doesn't give a fuck. You're hurting that little guy that owns that Walmart. It's such a big pyramid scheme that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to hurt the big guys, man. You really gotta be smart. You can't just go crazy and riot. If you want to hurt like the ones that run the shit, you gotta be smart about it. I don't know how you do it, to be honest, but this isn't the way.
You're right,
Well,
100%.
you're right. But the problem with that is like, you look at Colin Kaepernick lost his career in the NFL because he knelt during the national anthem. Again, protesting black kids getting shot, or anybody getting shot for that matter. He protested that peacefully by kneeling during the national anthem on television to try to use his platform. And what did he get? Kicked out of the NFL. No job. Hated. Shit on. Told that he was unpatriotic. Said that he didn't give a fuck. So then he leaves for a bit. LeBron James does the same thing. He comes out and says, I don't agree with how Trump's handling the Colin Kaepernick situation. I think it's unprofessional for the president of the United States to be commenting on an athlete making a stand. It's unprofessional. Fox News comes out and says, a woman comes out on an article and says, well, athletes need to shut up and dribble. Like he's not an actual, like, he makes $70 million a year. I'm sorry, but that man who makes $70 million a year, black, white, dribbles, kicks a ball, spits it in the fucking air and catches it in his mouth to make $70 million a year, you have a fucking say in society. So to say shut up and dribble is the point of, like, this is all fucking just unnecessary. And then when you have all of these, we do these avenues. We've done every other peaceful protest. We've protested in New York City with 1,000 people march. We've done all of these things, and a black man still gets a knee on the back of his neck. At what fucking point, like, is it like there's a breaking point? Guess what the breaking point is? Canada did this too. We fought in the War of 1912 or 1812. Sorry, there was War 1812. Canada versus the United States. What happened? Or Britain versus Canada or United States? What happened? Canada got pissed off because the U.S. kept coming over the border and pissing them off. So what do? They went and burnt the White House down. Not once, twice. And guess what? The U.S. went, all right, we're done. We're done fucking with you guys because you burnt our fucking main house down twice now, and we didn't like it very much, so we're just going to stop fucking with you.
The rain saved it, though, I thought.
They burnt it down the second time. The first time, burnt to the fucking ground, nothing left. They rebuilt it. The second time, they lit it on fire. It was half burnt. The rain saved half the building. They had to still rebuild more than half the building. So, like, my point is like...
They are protesting the White House right now, I believe.
They're protesting the White House. They were actually peacefully protesting. This the riot started off as a peaceful protest out front of the police station. The police got fed up because they couldn't get in and out of their building and do their job. This is how a protest works. You got to get through a picket line. You can't, shitty fucking deal. This is how it works. You know what I'm saying? If you can't get to the picket line, that is what it is. They tell you not to go near them. They tell you not to go through them. If you're not against what the cause, then don't go near the picket line. That's what they're doing. It's a protest or a strike. Same concept. So they did that out front of the police station, which they're legally allowed to do. Again, American right to protest.
Also, it's your American right to overthrow your government if you believe that it is corrupt.
So they're protesting the police out front of the police station.
Well, everything's a right. You know what I mean?
No, it's in their constitution that says if you believe at any point that your government is taking like your country in the wrong way, you have the right to overthrow them.
Yeah, but even if like it's kind of hilarious that they put that in, because it's hilarious that like say you wanted to do that, or you'd be like, is this within our rights? Like, yo, we're gonna overthrow the government. Let's make sure this is it. Like, you know what I mean? If you're gonna do that, either way, it doesn't matter. You can't. Yeah, I know. If you can't get charged.
But if you go to do it, yeah, exactly. If you go to do it, you can't get charged.
Yeah, but say, okay, so if the government's corrupt, you're fucked either way. You know what I mean? Saying so, it's like it doesn't matter. You're fucked once you try to do it. So it doesn't matter that it's in the Constitution, because like if you get caught and if it's not successful, you're fucked either way. So it's like it's kind of like, you know, it's like them putting it in there is pointless. But it's cool that they put it in there because they're like, hey, we're good guys. Like when they're writing it, they're like, hey, by the way, we're not corrupt yet. But if they get corrupt,
you have to also think that that's
protest it.
What they came up with, like what, over 200 years ago, and that's what they were just like, all right, this works for now.
They didn't. There was no nukes and lasers and like.
This works for now, right? And they're like, no, we shouldn't revise it. Forefathers. It's like, bro, we've evolved. We've learned. Yeah,
it's so funny you like praise tradition so much, where it's like everything should be evolving. Like kind of like what we talked about before, how it's like certain parts of technology evolve so fast while other things just stay the same. People just hate change with some stuff, and it's like, oh man, it's just such a weird world we live in, dude.
Well, like
it's weird.
Saying, people hate change with some stuff, and I think we're definitely at that stage in life where, like my buddy of mine says, well, when does it stop? Like, when does all of this rioting, when does the killing, when does all of this stop? And I was like, to be completely honest, I don't like to be that guy, but when the two generations before us decides to die away, the racist generation, that's when it was. Because I sit here, he sits here, you sit there, and we don't come from we're not the same as them. We don't think the same. Even in small aspects, our parents, like my mom included, who is a black.
There's fucked people, man. Everyone's different, all different ages. There's dope people,
yeah, I get
and
that,
there's so many shitty racist people our age too, man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
For sure. Or not that even younger than us, bro.
Lex has been older than posting people left, right, and center, bro. It's hilarious. Every racist that he encounters on the internet, he just puts up their fucking.
Oh yeah, Lex Luthor. Yeah, there's young people. Their minds are so easily molded, right? So it's like their parents are just someone they look up to, someone that they find, someone that gives them attention, whatever. Or they just like a lot of like white guys out there now see themselves as being like they're the ones that are the minority, right? They're scared of like this whole being pushed too far the other way now, which is ridiculous. But yeah, 100%. So there's tons of fucked up shit going on like for the young kids now. Like it's a weird world, man. And there's like fucking what, like 8 billion people now? Like that's crazy. That's people. Each one of those people has a whole different story, a whole different way of thinking, a whole different like, you know, things they believe in, blah blah blah. And like we were talking about before, I've been listening to our podcast, like so many people don't even exist. You know what I mean? Like there's like, it's going to get even crazier. Like it's going to be like, it's just going to keep getting crazier and crazier. More people are getting older. More people not dying.
That's why I'm in favor of population control.
No, I love it. I say I want there to be like 100 billion people. Imagine, bro.
That's what was in the book Zeitgeist, was population control.
Well,
I don't like that. I want there to be
think about
more people, because
population
give those people a chance to exist.
Think about,
Imagine,
no,
like,
think about
bro,
population
imagine
control.
you yourself had 1,000 kids, and all those 1,000 kids are, like, totally 1,000 different personalities, but they're all just, like, a little bit kind of like you.
Do I gotta
And,
pay
like,
for all of
you're like,
I would hope with my model
we're going to
of
different
population control
planets
that
and
they would
shit.
kill them all.
Well, man, I think, like, I don't know. I want us all to live a long time. I don't want you guys to die. I don't want to die. And I want there to be more people coming up. And I want us to, like, just figure out how to, population control in a way. I want them to control how we get a bigger population and, like, make it feasible. You know what I mean? Why don't we just have skyscrapers that grow vegetables? Skyscrapers that are all greenhouses and shit like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Vegetables.
Yeah.
Full of white vegetables.
Yeah,
like hopefully they're not white supremacist vegetables.
It's a weird standard that in like the Western world, like we have lawns and shit. Like, why couldn't every household turn their lawns into gardens and self-sustaining fucking
It is so dumb, dude. Seeing people mow their lawns is like the funniest thing to me. It's like you have this little patch of grass and you keep it short, you mow it, and it's like
that's it.
It's so strange, yeah.
But you have but you have to keep cutting it, or small critters will start making their home in there, and then they'll infest your house. So then, like, I don't know why you can't just turn it into agriculture. Like, if you could live off your own land, there wouldn't be a need to like keep driving around and going to the supermarket. You could probably work a less than 40-hour work week and be sustainable off of your own. Like, bro, throw a chicken coop in your backyard, grow some vegetables in your front, and if everybody's doing it, nobody's gonna come steal your vegetables, bro.
If you could grow your own food, what else do you actually need?
And if I'm growing maybe vegetables, you can grow some different vegetables over at your place, and we can trade. You know.
We wouldn't trade. I would just eat all fucking half your vegetables anyways, and I'd eat my own vegetables.
The trade system. You know what I mean?
I'm an asshole with an opinion.
You don't need people to make your food from you. You probably don't need beef. We're getting off topic here, okay? Riots were started.
Yeah, riots wouldn't be started if we all had our own gardens in our front yards.
Yeah, they would. I just come over here and rob whatever deliciousness.
You can't just force everyone to have their own gardens, though. It's like the beautiful thing about the world is that we're all free, right? Yeah, everyone's fucking mostly pretty dumb.
Free?
Yeah, man, I like that we're free.
I mean,
we're free to roam.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're free to roam.
You guys don't think we're free?
No. Not at all.
We're pretty free, man. It could be a lot worse. And like, if there was like a spectrum of how free we are, we're over the 50% line for sure.
But I think as a human race, I think we're definitely just controlled by greed, currency, and government.
That's inside your own mind, though. You know what I mean? I'd rather be controlled by things like that are my own problems than controlled by another person or something. Like there's
but we think
like lots of other situations that we could have been born into.
We think vastly different, and we don't drive around in cars with masks on our face by ourselves. All right, so there's a whole bunch of different population that don't think like we do, that are controlled by the media, government, and whatever they're told by CNN, Fox, or whichever wing they pick.
Right, even that in a sense isn't so bad, but if like once it becomes like the law and it's like the government, and once you disobey this shit and it's like then you go into jail, like you can't drive around in your car, the cops will arrest you and put you in jail, then that's where I'm like, oh shit, I'm not free, this is scary, it sucks.
Yeah.
But if it's just like the media trying to brainwash me, I can deal with that. You know?
I have like a half theory on why the riots also started. They passed martial law like 3 years ago in the States that they could pull martial law at any time they want. Trump, when he came into office, has been fucking waiting for an opportunity to drop the military in his own fucking country. He's just been waiting for an opportunity. And what did he do? Exactly fucking that. He's essentially
inciting
called
riots.
Martial law now. Because now if you're an Antifa protester, which The
You have
leaders
been
of
labeled a
Antifa,
terrorist.
you've been labeled a terrorist, which are operating on U.S. soil, which means that they can do what, Weber? Bring in the troops, which is what they fucking did.
Yep.
They've already sent National Guard into all of these states, and Trump has already said, if they loot, shoot. Like,
He's not the only one who said that, though. There has been presidents in the past who said, shoot to kill.
I will say this, though,
Don't
about
shoot
Trump.
to harm.
I will give Trump,
That's
and this is
fucked up.
the only fucking time I'm doing this, I will give Trump a little bit of credit for the beginning of how this was handled on the Trump's administration's part. Because for the first time in history, I don't know if you guys knew this, the FBI investigated this murder. Never, ever, ever has the FBI or
Yeah,
the
but that was
federal
only because
government-
they were under so much pressure.
Well, yeah, hear me out, though. But now, if you did it, he pulled the trigger on that. He sent them. And they investigated within 3 days. Usually a case like this takes 9 months. 3 days he was arrested because of the investigation by the FBI. Now
I don't think it was because of the investigation. It was definitely because of the protests. And I think he definitely thought that if he gave them the cop that it would simmer it down, which it didn't.
It did, absolutely. It went from riots to protests. Now they're just a bunch of protests. Turned half riot because some people are idiots. I will give it, like, rioters are idiots. There's no fucking reason. Now, that being said as well, if you're a mom and pop shop now, you own we own an ice cream shop in Dallas, okay? I have insurance, dude. Yeah, I might have things on the wall that I care about and all of these things. Like, I get that. I might have built this shop from the ground up. But guess what, man? Insurance tells me that you broke all the windows and burnt my building down. They're just going to build a new building here where I get to come right back in, and I got a settlement because you guys put me out of work. So now I've got $75,000, plus I get to bring my business back here, and you pay to reopen it. That's what happens. They're all on
No,
insurance.
man. Even with insurance, like, they're always trying to find a way to not
No,
pay
not
you.
right now. They're not.
And
Not with
shit.
riots and stuff. There's
No,
like
bro,
riots.
there's like
There's
attorneys and shit coming out being like, if you were damaged in this, contact us. No fucking or pro bono or whatever. Like, no money down. There's people. I don't know how they're trying to cash. They know obviously how to cash in on this. I don't know what the whole hook, line, and sinker is. But
I read about this earlier today because I wanted to bring this up today in the podcast. Is basically whenever you're a small business and you get insurance, right? Usually it starts off like just like car insurance. You have theft, you have fire, you have this, right? Basic, whatever insurance. Whenever you're a business in America, especially in a city, you actually have to pay the maximum insurance, which does cover you. And it does say this in the clause as well, that it covers you for fire, theft, all of these things, including rioting. Rioting's in that clause. So if riotings happen and you have a building,
Not for everybody, though. I feel like it's rioting always in the clause?
95%
Some people don't get.
Most of them, yeah.
Like, a
Because
lot of
it
people
happens a
didn't
lot.
get pandemic insurance, right? With the whole coronavirus shit.
That was
They
different.
missed out.
That was them trying to respond. They were trying to find money. There's a different. Insurance companies have the money. So when your business gets, that's what you sign a contract for because you pay into it. If they don't pay you or do follow what's in that contract, that's why these lawyers that are going, well, we'll do it pro bono. They're smart as fuck because if they get this is getting their name out there. You take these are easy cases for them. These are easy wins. These are easy W's. Because the big company, the insurance company will try to fight it for a little bit, but they won't be able to. Then they'll end up having to pay the lawyer fees along with more to keep the business closed longer. So insurance companies are just going to end up paying shit out. Now, it does hurt the economy to have riots and horrible things. That's no question. But, man, like, at what point does things actually change? And I think, like I said, with the FBI, it's the first time the FBI has investigated one of these murders. Now, that being said, if, like you said, the pressure to actually bring the FBI in could actually be a good thing in the long run because now that every time this happens going forward, every president, Donald Trump or whoever else takes over, almost is going to have to feel pressure to send FBI in every time. And I don't think that's a waste of resource. So if you're going to do that, then it kind of shows people that you're taking that extra step. Like we were talking about policing the police, because the FBI are not the police and they don't give a fuck about the police force that way. So they will show up and be objective to what's happening and be fair to it. For the most part, I know there's corrupt FBI agents, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? again, to become an FBI agent, it's like what you were saying. Let's make all FBI agents into cops then. Let's make them control the streets and do FBI stuff along with law enforcement. I'd be way more down for that because they're more highly trained. They've been doing it for longer, and they care about their jobs a lot more. Now, I think there's some corruption that happens there as well. I'm not going to go into that, but I think that would be a little safer. They're policing the police.
All right, I got a fucking rock a piss. I'll be right back. And I'm back from the bathroom.
It's hilarious.
What's up, guys?
Don't forget to check out the Sab Powers Podcast. You know, all that good shit. But it's a fucked up time going on, and it's gonna. I don't know how it's gonna escalate. I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. Like, I don't know what this is gonna bring if they are going to actually incite martial law and have everything locked down. Like, with the whole COVID, I think it's also people are just upset and they're tired of being at home. So they're like, let's go riot. Let's go do something in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And to the whole point of, like, you were saying about the whole, like, it took them so long to give them their stimulus packages. It's like, well, fuck, man. I had to wait 3 months to get paid a little bit of money. I haven't been eating. I haven't gotten shit. I lost my job. Yo, matter of fact, there's a window broken at the Target. I need me a new computer.
The
government doesn't want to give me my stimulus. It sucks, but I mean, fuck. This is all like a vicious cycle, right? Like, we can say, like, oh, the small business owners are taking a big hit. Okay, well, humans took a big hit when they refused to give them their packages when they shut down the country. Then on top of that, then we're like, oh, well, business owners got fucked on taxes last year. Well, they're pissed off at the government too. Or even in the insurance cases. So it's like, it's all a big circle of, like, this issue causes this issue, which turns back on this issue, which causes this issue again, that causes this issue. It never ends. And the only way it does end is, I don't know if it does. I think divide is probably the most popular thing in human history.
And it's pretty interesting that it's all coming up once again on the verge of the elections. It seems to be a thing that's always popular, how the in-cabinet candidate handles the current situation.
Bro, your facial hair is tripping me the fuck out.
It's amazing.
I love it, dude. I didn't even know that was possible. I've never seen you do that until today.
I've just been tripping out. Like, I don't know. I tried a new look, so I've just been playing with this little thing here. But like, I'm trying to get it long enough so I can braid it into like 2 like Viking braids. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that'd be fire, bro. Damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm going for.
I was thinking about shaving today. Okay, back to the serious shit. What do you guys think about that serious shit we were talking about?
Very good segue.
I'm super serious about it. So,
and it's some shit. It's some super serious shit. The shit was serious.
I mean, we live in Canada, so it's hard for us to really speak on how, like, what it's like to be there.
Yeah, all I do is smoke weed and drive around all day. So, like, nothing affects me. This COVID shit don't even affect me, bro. Like, I pretend like there's not even.
It does a little bit, man. It does
a little bit.
Definitely.
I don't get to
see the world, and like
the world.
Yeah, we don't hang out as often.
Even being out, like, it's mind baffling how many people I see out in the world. Like, that's why I mean, when I'm driving around in the world, it doesn't dawn on me until, like, I see somebody wearing a mask or something. I'm like, oh yeah, there's a pandemic going on.
Yeah, there is tons of people out driving and stuff still. It almost seems like the same amount of people.
For a little while,
yeah, bro, it does seem like the same amount of people. Like, traffic hasn't really changed.
Gas prices went up.
The only thing that's changed is the highway and, like, the higher, like, traveling from city to city, because people are mostly inner city going to grocery stores and.
So the highway is clear?
Yeah, it's pretty clear from place to place.
Yeah, I haven't really been on the highway at all, so that's interesting.
I went to Toronto like probably 4 times during this pandemic, and usually it takes me like 2-3 hours. I went there and back in 2 hours.
That's crazy.
I went to the airport and back. Yeah, it was fucking, bro. It was nothing. There's nothing on the highway, and like the whole speed of the highway was like all going like 150.
140.
Yeah, it was just like everybody was just in
Damn.
recession of just going, right? So it's just like, oh, okay.
I've been driving back and forth from Quebec the last like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
And like every drive, it's usually a 7-hour drive, 6.5, 7 hours. We've been doing those in 5.5, bro. It's 140 the entire way.
Yep. Yeah, bro. It's so empty that people are like street racing on the highway doing like 200 and plus. You know what I mean?
There's a kid that got caught doing 307 miles an hour, or kilometers an hour.
Yep.
307 kilometers an hour. You don't even like. I can't even fathom going at that speed.
I would love to.
You know what's weird? There's podcasts that just like watch a show and then they come out with their podcast live like right after the episode airs and they review it and they get like decent amount of views, like decent amount of subscribers and shit.
Yeah, because I think it's like you have to have, you can stream something as long as you have a certain percentage of your own content mixed in with it. So as long as like they're sitting there the whole time and commenting.
No, they don't show the show.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
saying like they'll
it just
come
shows
out.
them watching it.
No, not even that. They'll just talk about it.
Oh,
So it's like, say they'll be like
let's review
like the
this
ones
last
that
episode
I
of Dragon Ball.
watch. The ones that I watch are like Survivor, right? So it'll be like Survivor episode whatever, and then they'll just talk about it. Sometimes they'll have like people from the cast or whatever on their shit. And that there's like tons of fucking podcasts that do that with shows, right? It's like fucking as soon as, and it's like there'll be like competitors, right? I bet every single show that's out there that like we releases weekly probably has like a podcast about it. You know?
Probably.
Oh yeah, that's pretty interesting. I don't watch any. Well, actually, I do. Like, I watch the Rick and
Morty. We could do a Rick and Morty podcast.
Well, bro, they already
comes
do
out
that.
after
You ever
every
watch
episode.
New Rock Stars?
Yeah, I don't like any of those guys. Like I was watching them and
Eric
stuff, but it's
Voss.
like,
I love Eric
man,
Voss,
I would never hang out with those dudes. They just like, I was like, man, the shit I settle for because it's YouTube. And then I was like, man, if I hate this shit so much, I should just make my own YouTube. So we are.
So we did.
And I honestly like our shit a lot more than I do some of this garbage that's out there, you know?
watched our podcast.
I like how your comics have expanded.
A little bit. That was a while ago.
Your comics?
Yeah, expanding.
Yeah.
It'll expand even more and more.
Yeah, that's the goal. Until you're just a little dot in the middle of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So Chaos in the Streets, Sound of the Beast. That was a good Mad Child song.
Do I have to say I have to go in order for this to end? Because then
you just did.
That's kind of how.
So that's how it worked, eh? So that's just, it just gets to a point where Sam's like, yeah. So
whenever Sam says it's time.
It's funny because I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, say it.
I was
Say
yeah,
it.
and I was like, I don't have a time to go this time, but I was like, I'll
bro,
just
that's
say
exactly
it anyway.
what I was thinking in my head. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, he doesn't have another podcast, and you're like, do
Yeah.
I have to say it?
That's
Yeah.
That's a good exit right there.
That was a great one.
That works out for us.
All right.
Works out great.
Big Dubbz, Twitter, everything.
Marcus Merks 8. You know where to find me.
Sab Powers.
Who the fuck is this?